Good morning, everybody, and welcome to MACH 2022. It's Tuesday. Rowan, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. We're here on the Okuma stand. We're going to be talking about the machines in, I don't know, about 20 minutes, but I just had to do a quick bit of talking to Richard Turner. I've been told he's the genius machine tool construction and the Okumas. He's been working there for 16 years.
He has.
So it was nice nerd to nerd talking, so we had a nice good chat. I'm not going to tell you anything about it yet, because you're going to find out a little bit later on in the show. What do you know about Okuma, Lindsay?
Well, let's go back a little bit. NCMT have two brands here. We're going to be doing another live tomorrow, and we're going to be covering their Makino section, right? That's going to be, again, first thing in the morning. But today's live is all about the Okuma products. You're going to be covering some of the Genos lathes. They've got the Armoroid, and on the stand, they're stripping down a machine. It's getting a bit undressed, isn't it? It's getting a bit hot and raunchy in here. So it's just down there on the corner. You can't see it right now, probably because we're going to be showing you a little bit later. Again, keep watching to find out what it looks like. But oh my God, I like looking at undressed machines because it's fascinating to see what the construction is like. Because the covers look all well and good, they make them look pretty beautiful, but that's not what matters, does it? No. What matters is what is underneath, what the castings are like, what the thermal comp is like, and what the guides are like. Anyway, I've been talking. You can tell I've been talking to Richard. I could talk about this forever. But that's great. I love that, Rowan, because later on you're going to be talking to him. So if you want to go technical, if you want to see inside these machines, I know Paul's going to be talking about the stripped down machine. You're going to be talking about the M460V 5-axis, and it's got automation attached, which is the Armoroid as well. And I know Mark's going to be covering lathes too. So make sure you're watching. Maybe we can go. Should we go and have a little sneak peek? Should we go pick on someone? Should we? Well, I think he's the man to pick on. This is Richard Turner. He's just called you a nerd, actually. Hello, Richard. Yes, we had a bit of a nerd on nerd talk. Yeah, exactly. Do you think I asked the right questions?
I believe you did.
Okay. Do you think I'm going to be knowledgeable enough to interview you correctly today?
We'll wait and see.
Okay, yeah, we'll find out. I guess you're going to keep watching to find out. I think not. How have you found? Let's go back in time. But yesterday, how did you find MACH yesterday?
Really good. I think the footfall was very good for a Monday. Definitely, 100%. Really,
it's quite surprising. You don't get many people coming in for the first day. Hopefully tomorrow will be even busier. You're talking today, so it's a good day for you, right?
Of course, always is.
Was it someone's birthday yesterday?
Not sure actually. I don't think that should be publicised.
You know what? I saw him this morning and went, 21 plus VAT, but VAT's gone up.
VAT's gone up quite a bit.
Probably about 200% in your case, I'm afraid. I'm joking, Richard. What is it?
Lathes-wise, who's covering lathes?
Well, yeah, I was just talking to Richard actually, because this is my bag today, because I want to. It's a very, very competitive marketplace, so therefore we need to find out exactly why these lathes are that good. And I wouldn't say these are entry level, but they're built very rigidly, and they're going to actually complete a part, even if you're hitting it hard materials effectively. But if you want automation as well, these are a fantastic way to go.
Yeah, honestly, these are great price, great solid machine, fast, accurate, you name it. That's it.
Right, perfect. Well, we're going to be going live very shortly. In fact, we're going to be going live at past. We've been talking about stripping down machines, so we're going to see one of those machines stripped down, and we're going to see so much more. So we'll be back with you live at 9:30. We'll see you there. Welcome back, everybody, to the MTDCNC live show. Guess where we are? We are on the NCMT stand, and we're talking Okumas today. I'm with the Managing Director, John Smart. Now, we're going to take you on a tour around the whole of this stand. We are back with NCMT tomorrow on their Makino stand, so we're just concentrating on Okumas. We're talking about their automation, world firsts. There's even a stripped down machine. I'm going to cover that in a minute, but we're going to see loads. But first of all, John, Managing Director, how long have you been the MD for?
2 years ago we had a management buyout, so that's when I became MD. There's a new 5-man management team with over 100 years experience of working for NCMT.
That's a long time, a lot of experience, but so how does that feel? What do you bring to the table?
Well, we've all got a lot of experience from our individual departments over the years, and so we've got a lot of strength and depth within the company.
Well, talking about strength, this stand, I mean, it's massive, and then you know what, let's not just have one, let's go for 2 stands. I mean, it's huge. Yeah, it is.
It's the largest stand we've ever had, and which is good. We're sort of really proud of it, and there's been a lot of hard work from all the team at NCMT to get us to this point.
Well, all I'm going to say is if you're visiting MACH this week, because of course we're only on Tuesday, you've got loads of time to visit, do make sure you come over to the stand and speak to John and the team. Now, you've had a lot of changes in the business as well, new faces.
Yeah, we've got 4 new area sales managers who have come in over the last 18 months. They're working well with our experienced sales team, and it's good that they're all here this week and looking forward to visiting or seeing everyone visiting them.
4. That's quite a lot. Why have you gone for why has the team expanded so much?
Well, what we've done is because it's been a difficult time, and we need to we need to sell our way out of the problems we've got. Everyone can focus on a smaller area to give our customers more of an individual touch.
Your machines, and I hear so often, it's more about the engineering, the turnkey products. Every single time I go to NCMT, this is what you guys concentrate on. So I guess by having more team members, you're there to look after the machines that you sell as well.
Yeah, we've got a great. We could sort of do the pre-sales engineering, the turnkey engineering, and also the after-sales support. We've got the full package that we can offer.
Increased in marketing team as well.
Yeah. But Vicky's joined us this year. She's really up the content of our socials, and we've also got a new website at ncmt.co.uk, and I'm sure Vicky will be adding more content from these interviews this morning.
She's going to have a lot of content. Now, this is a live stream, and I've said it so many times. The ultimate reason behind this is if you can't make MACH, of course, in an ideal world, everyone would be here, but not everyone can. So if you can't make MACH, please get those questions in. We have got a team behind the scenes that can literally get your questions into my earpiece, the presenter's earpieces, so please be interactive. We want to get you as close to the technology as possible. Now, let's talk about technology. A UK first Armroid.
Yep, our Armroid machine. So that's the same machine. UK first. It's got an integrated robot inside the Okuma LB3000 lathe, and so you'll be seeing that with the guys later on today.
You will, in a lot of depth. And the Standroid?
Standroid, that's also another Okuma branded robot. They've introduced that, so it's integrated onto a vertical machining centre.
It's all about automation and the unmanned run now. Now, I shouldn't say this, but I hear, John, someone's naked, and it's not Ian Horton. I'm not saying that Ian Horton wouldn't.
Thankfully, it's not Ian Horton, so I'm quite pleased with that. No, we've got our skeleton machine. Anyone coming into Hall 19, it'll be the first thing they see, and we're proud of the Okuma build quality. We'll take the covers off, we'll show the machine, and you'll just see the quality of it.
John was actually telling me that there's some people from around the stands as well on the other stand that have been eyeing up your stripped down machine.
They are. They're as long as they don't want to sort of see anyone else naked on our stand, that's fine with us.
Well, yeah, this is PG, that's fine. John, thank you so much. Thank you. And we'll catch up with John a little bit later on. Loads of technology, and you're about to see. Now we are getting closer to that stripped down machine. We've told the audience, Ian, that it's not you. Don't worry, everyone's still watching.
Wow, what a vision. Ian naked, hey?
I'm sure that's a relief for everybody.
For those that don't know, I'm going to introduce Ian, and I want him just to explain his position with NCMT. Ian, welcome to the live stream today. Can you tell us who you are and what your position is here at the company?
Ian Horton, I'm the sales director for NCMT, obviously here today representing Okuma Machine Tools.
Okay, now what we're going to do in this section is we're going to look at this machine with the guarding off, and then we're going to look at one that's got the guarding on. But this is what I love about machine tools and coming to exhibitions like this, is you can actually see machines without the guarding on, which gives you a real insight into how something like this goes together. So the first thing we're going to do is walk around the machine and look at the different areas. Then we're going to pick the 8 points about the Genos M series that really make it different to others in NCMT's opinion. So Ian, let's just start with the makeup of the machine. Maybe from the base up, let's go right to the top.
Yeah, so basically, Paul, I think it's just worth touching on for, obviously machine tool engineers probably know the build of the machine, but for people who are coming to the exhibition maybe for the first time, tooling people, students, just to give you a rough idea, we've obviously got the castings down below. This is a double casting on this machine. Linear rails, motor, ball screw, table which obviously your component sits on, going up to the spindle which obviously is the heart of the machine, ball screws up in the x-axis, tool changer over on the left hand side there, and basically, yeah, the electrical cabinet around the back of the machine.
Okay, now how this looks can be different to other VMCs because VMCs are configured differently. Here, the x-axis is moving on the column, isn't it, as opposed to the table going left to right. What's the advantage to that, do you think?
Well, basically, you've got your weight only in one axis. So it's not actually, with a lot of machine tool companies on the entry level, the X and the Y sit on top of each other, so that's extra weight that you've got on the table. With us, we don't have that, obviously, because it is just the Y-axis that sits down on that level.
Okay, right, now let's pick each of these points. So let's talk about point number one. You're talking about a fast, powerful, long life spindle. Explain, and what's good about that?
Well, this spindle is 15,000 as standard. It comes with 5 bearings, whereas most of the competition will only have 4, so it gives you that extra rigidity. It's oil mist lubricated. We've got 22 Newton meters of torque, 199 kilowatts.
What does the oil mist mean? What's the advantage to having that in the spindle?
It basically makes it maintenance free. So it pumps the oil and the mist around it. We're so confident in this spindle. This machine at entry level comes with a 3-year warranty on the spindle itself.
Okay, how important is the spindle when you're talking about a machine? It's the life and soul, isn't it?
Well, it is the heart of the machine at the end of the day. I mean, if the spindle doesn't move, we don't cut anything. So, you know, that's where there's a heavy presence. We put a heavy thing on the spindle, basically being so reliable.
Okay, now before we go on to point number 2, when you look at your range of machines within the Okuma catalogue, let's say, where does this sit? Is this entry level? Is this premium? Where's its position?
This machine is our entry level machine tool. But it's very much, as you can see from the, I mean, we'll touch on this later slightly, but it is the entry level, but the build quality of it comes from what you might call the full fat machines in effect.
Okay. Now, if you have got any questions about how this machine's made or anything to do with the Vertical Machining Centre or the Okuma range, then do put your comments onto wherever you're watching this now, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, wherever it may be, and we will endeavour to answer them throughout the stream. Let's look at point number 2, zero alignment drive, centre drive. What does that mean?
Well, I think we need to talk to point 2 and point 3 at the same time, really. So we've got zero alignment drive and the ball screw bracket is integrated to the machine. So as you can see from the castings, the casting is actually the ball screw bracket, so it isn't a fabricated piece of steel that goes on there.
Okay, I'm going to point this out. I know the camera's probably on it, but what you're saying here is that often these can be a fabricated item that's actually attached to the casting, correct?
Yeah, that's correct, Paul. So if on the unfortunate time you put on the machine, actually kick the ball screw out of alignment, which obviously can cause problems as you move forward. We don't have that because obviously it's integrated into the casting itself. That zero alignment is then therefore, you know, you don't have to do any aligning of it. If it takes a really big whack, it just continues, so that you don't have any alignment on the ball screw.
Okay, so that's point number 2, and you were saying that is point number 2 and 3 essentially.
Point 2 and 3 really, yeah.
Okay, so now let's look at number 4, critical at the moment, isn't it? Energy saving. How do you go about that? What's this machine equipped with?
Well, we're all into sustainability, and most machine tool companies are now pushing forward with this. This has the Eco Suite, which basically means that if the machine's not working, the hydraulics will turn off. Once the spindle is up to a certain temperature, it will turn off the spindle lubrication as well. The control will go into a sleep mode. So basically, it's just really conserving energy, which obviously at the moment is a massive point for everybody in the world, not just the industry.
Does this come up in the negotiations for a machine at the moment for you? Do people? Because in my day, people never used to consider how much power consumption a machine took. But is it something that people look down on the spec sheets now and think about?
We're getting more and more inquiries where sustainability is a massive thing for the customer. Again, you know, we touch on prices going through the roof with the likes of, you know, oil, gas, electricity. So yeah, and it's actually, we're seeing it in RFQs that people are actually seeing that they want to see where your sustainability is, where's your green, you know, how green are you as a company?
I suppose if you know, whatever the cost of a machine, if the running costs are high, then you've got to factor that in, haven't you, I suppose. Okay, number 5, highly rigid double column construction. Now let's explain this. We did look at the build of the machine, but I want to know what you mean by that, Ian, and maybe if we move to the machine, you can point these things out.
So basically, it's this is based on one of our bit larger machine tools. So it's the double column construction. You can see that with the bridge that goes over the top. A lot of machine tool companies will have the C-frame construction, where it is the C. This is a much more rigid and compact and stable design, basically.
Okay, so we're saying two columns. So we're talking this one and the one for the camera you can see, which is basically the base. Yeah, is that what we're talking?
2 castings, and then you've got the double column, which is actually that column that side, column that side.
Okay. And is that, do you do the C-frame style machines as well, or does Okuma just generally stick to this?
We don't do any C-frame style machines. Like I say, this is based on one of the larger machines where the table actually passes underneath the double column, and that's what gives us our structure. This comes from basically its big brother, which is the large double column 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 metre machine tools.
Okay, right. Number 6. I'm losing myself here. Tough vertical ribs directly below the linear ball guides. Well, let's touch on 2 points here. Tell me what linear ball guides are for those that don't know, and then answer the other.
So we've got linear ball guides here. These are oversized on this machine. So these are larger than any of the competition that we're showing, which is why we're showing this, to basically show that. Alongside that, we've got the ball screw, which is also oversized. Underneath that, we've got the vertical ribs. Now, unfortunately, it's the one thing that we're not showing on the machine, and it's covered off. You can't see it inside. Okuma want to keep that a secret, but basically, there's X ribs inside on the castings. A lot of machine tool companies will just leave that hollow, so you're getting a not so stable machine. But with the X, obviously, triangles, it creates a much more stable and rigid base for the table to sit on.
Okay, I'm going to point these out and compare that to, in your opinion, to a box guideway construction.
Well, box guideway tends to be, you look on a box guideway machine, they're a lot slower. These machines are obviously there is a price element as well, so the linear ways do tend to make it a lot more budget friendly, whereas linear ways historically a lot more solid machine tool. But when we're talking at this level, everybody's really using linear ways now, but so we're making them as large as we can to try and basically incorporate the, if you like, the box slideway element.
Okay, last point before we actually take a look at the machine with the guarding on, and don't forget, if you have any questions or comments, do send them through. We'll endeavour to get them answered during the stream. Thermo-friendly concept, what does that mean?
So
what's important about it?
Thermo-friendly concept is a thing that Okuma do through all of their machine tools. Because of the way that it's constructed, the machine grows the same all over. All machines grow in heat. Obviously, you want to put them in an area which is ultimately climate controlled, but that's not, we're not doing that realistically in most factories. So the machine will grow and shrink at the same rate. The machine's intelligent enough that it knows how much it's growing by, so it actually compensates for that as it's growing. And you can leave that off overnight and come in, the machine will be maybe 2 microns out. It really is that accurate because of the construction and the way that it's built on the castings.
Okay, all these points covered. Well done, Ian. Let's go and now look at the machine with the guarding on. This is what you would get if you purchased one, and then we're going to talk about the automation that works alongside it. So then just let's look at the overall machine here, Ian. Talk to me about the control, the accessibility, the tool changer, all the things that maybe we haven't picked on so far.
Yeah, so one thing you don't get from looking at the machine with no covers on is the fact that the tool changer is mounted in its own separate environment. That means that there's no swarf getting chucked onto the tool, which could ultimately end up inside the spindle. There's no debris there, and it just keeps it a nice clean area for the tools to stay in.
I think that's important actually, looking at that, because that can be a problem, can't it? You want to keep that out of the working envelope wherever possible.
Yeah, I mean, if you do get some swarf on there and the machine tool changes and it goes up the spindle and you basically damage the internal of the spindle, you've then got run out issues. It's going to cause damage elsewhere. Ultimately, you've got a big problem.
Who are you selling these machines to, Ian, before we talk about the automation?
These machine tools are going into a lot of subcontract places. They're also going to a lot of blue chip companies because they're realising that there's a longevity to these machines. Yes, you will pay a little bit extra than what you will for most competitors, but these machines will just keep going 24/7. These are 24/7 production machine tools if you need them for that.
I think if there's one message we wanted to portray today is the fact that you can afford an Okuma. It's something you want to push, isn't it? To all, really.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. I mean, this machine tool, as it stands here now, basically we're looking at £6 an hour is what you're looking at from a finance point of view. That's what it's going to cost you to have this machine. And
that's more than I get paid.
I suggest that's considerably less than what you get paid, Paul.
I don't get paid.
Obviously we pay you for the privilege of putting us through this torment. But it's a very affordable machine. We're basing it as affordable excellence. That's what we're really running it on, affordable excellence. You can have a real high quality machine tool at entry level for a very low, but a low budget in effect.
Okay, right, before we move over to Mark, who's with Howard, we're going to look at the Stanroid here. I don't want to go into masses of detail, Ian, because people can come here and look at this themselves at MACH 2022 or to your facility in Coventry, but I want to know why you've put it on here, this Stanroid, what it does, and why the industry is moving so towards unmanned running.
Yeah, so the Stanroid, there's a couple of unique things with it really. It's incorporated with the OSP control, which is the Okuma sampling path. So as long as you can use the OSP control, you can program the robot. So you're not looking at two different programming systems. It's for high mix, low volume. So, if you've got lots of different parts, but only say 16, 24 of them, you can put it on, go away for an hour, come back, and it's run all those parts for you. It's 55% smaller than most conventional robot footprints. And obviously it's mounted on the side, not on the front of the machine. And as we all know in the UK at the moment, footprint is a massive thing. So being 55% smaller obviously hopefully gives us an advantage in where you can fit it into the factories.
Great stuff. Thank you very much, Ian. Torment over.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you very much. So this is the Okuma M560V from NCMT. Come here to MACH 2022 this week if you want to see this machine and others from NCMT. I'm now going to hand you over to Mark, who's with Howard, and they're going to be looking at this other wonderful automation solution.
Well, Howard, we've spent a lot of time, haven't we, in the north. You look after the north. When you look at the range of machines that you have, the lathes from Okuma really open the door, don't they?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, everybody knows of Okuma as a strong, robust, heavily built machine. And what the Okuma Genos range does, it lends itself to, to a very competitive market. But it's a package spec machine, but you've still got the Okuma branding behind it. You've got, you've got the Okuma OSP P300 control, box guideways. It's, it's a solid cast iron bed, and you've got a full package as well. So you've got a chuck and cylinder package incorporated into the machine package. And then you've got conveyor system, so it comes out of the box ready to go, and then we offer it with the gantry system or other automation to depending on what the customer's needs are.
And when you're looking at the construction of the machine, a lot of people will say, can I really afford an Okuma? Does this really sort of give me the entry into Okuma and NCMT? What's your take on that?
Yeah, well, we supply them into machining companies that are very much like that, into the small SMEs, and because it's a package spec machine, it allows us to have a very competitive price because we haven't got lots of different options on the machine. So we have an 8-inch chuck size machine and we have a 10-inch chuck size machine, and if it goes above that, we can go to the LB range, which we've got demonstrated with the Armroid system on, with Okuma's own robot system, which is integrated into the control. So please come down and come and see it. For those that want to look at automation.
And the great thing of following you around doing some case studies as well, been some really cracking companies that really give you a fantastic case study, because when you're integrating a brand new machine, you need the technical backup that NCMT can actually offer.
Yeah, I mean, that's, everybody knows of us as with the reputation we have with engineered turnkey solutions, putting robot automated cells in, and so you've got a machine that's aimed at that market. But then you've got the infrastructure and the service and backup support that NCMT can offer. So yeah, we've got great brands with the Okuma brand and obviously the Makino brand as well.
And when you look at the controls, a lot of companies get a little bit fixated about I must be on a FANUC. How easy is the Okuma controls?
Yeah, well, the platform on the control, it's ISO program format, so it's it's the same as programming FANUC, and it's very similarly laid out. But because it's a machine tool builder's control, it's a single source. So they do their own control, they do their own servos, the drives, motors, all the mechanics is built by Okuma. So you've got a very much a sewn up single source machine there. So there's a lot of benefits for that.
And I quite like the idea that when we're talking about the actual machine, you're really sort of demonstrating the ability with a gantry loader here, because you are selling a lot of these machines, aren't you?
Yeah.
With automation.
With automation, yeah. I mean, we do supply a lot with just standalone machines, but taking that next step into automation for some companies, people have a bit of fear about it. As you can see, there's a nice compact footprint. You've got a 10 position stocker. You can have 150mm diameter parts, 100mm long, and it quickly becomes an automated solution for some small parts.
And this is the smaller range, or the Genos 2000 is that sort of entry level of the size. However, you do offer bigger machines, which we're going to have a look at the moment. When you come on to the L3000, what really is the difference? Is it just the size of the diameter?
Pretty much, yeah. You've got an 8-inch chuck size machine with a 62mm through bore. On here you've got a 10-inch chuck size machine with an 80mm through bore. So, and the turret goes, go from a VDI 30 size turret to a 40 size turret on here. But because we've got an MYW spec machine, then you've got the sub spindle. It's a BMT60 turret, so it's a bolt-on tool holder turret.
And I like this sort of strategy at Okuma because when you look at the range of different machines that they actually offer in their portfolio. I mean, when I went to Okuma Europe, for instance, I didn't realise how many other machine tool companies are actually using Okumas to actually build their own machines.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, some of the big, some of the most well-known machine tool companies are using Okuma double column machines to machine the beds and the castings. So it's they're very big and prominent in the market.
Now, a lot of engineers will know NCMT, they will know Okuma, but it does come at a price. What's your take on that when you're talking to customers about the brand?
Well, we're very affordable. The Genos range is the packaged machine, so anything with Genos on it is a package spec machine. So we do the lathes, we do the verticals, we do the 5-axis, and we're more affordable than what a lot of people may think. And taking that next step into automation, we can put a bar feeder on this and have it unmanned with a parts catcher on it. So going into more unattended running, and we can put other integrators on for robot loading with an auto door on the front of a 5-axis machine. So it's we can break into other markets with a Genos product. And when people see that reliability and what you get for your money, you've just shown the carcass of the vertical machine there without the guards on. You only need to see that to see what you're actually investing in, don't you?
And I think also one thing I want to say, Dan, I'm sorry to get you on camera.
Right, yeah.
Apprentices are really key within NCMT. Tell me a little bit about your experience at NCMT since you joined.
So first year, it's full year of college, and then it's a 4-year scheme, so the rest, every 3 years after that, 1 day a week at college, and then the other days you basically sometimes you're shadowing people to pick up skills, or sometimes you'll be given a job, and say a practice job, but when you develop more skills you might go on to actual customers and go through from the start of the project where you get given from get given the task to the whole thing, throughout the whole thing, and also at the end if they have problems then you might go back to it. So it's something where you start off low level as you do, and you just carry on working through shadowing, learning more skills and more skills. But it's something that they've done for quite a few years now. I'm getting towards the end of my apprenticeship and it's going really well, yeah.
Just out of interest, when you was at school thinking about all your options,
Yeah.
did you think about manufacturing engineering?
I wouldn't say it was something I've always been interested in, cars and hands-on sort of things, and that's what I've never been someone to enjoy writing long essays, for example. So I think when I started my A-levels, it's something where I was thinking, what's the next step? And it's something that this sort of led me down the right path, and yeah, it's something I'm glad I've chosen, really. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Thanks very much,
worries,
Stone. Now, Howard, when you look at a lot of the customers, you're looking for new customers all the time. Do the lathes from Okuma open the door for you?
They have done on many times already. Yeah, it's you can see with the product you get a very strong, rigid, robust machine tool, and nice. Just if you're interested in lathes and turning, anything for that matter, come down and we'll show you what we've got to show.
And if they want to see machines actually running, can they actually see it at other customers? Can you take them to other customers as well as your Coventry plant?
Yeah. I mean, we have stock machines in Little March in Coventry, but if there's a specific machine that might be at customers, then they're welcome to the opportunity as long as we don't conflict in the industry. So yeah, we can take to user reference sites as well, which is always a good advocate.
So I would imagine that I'm going to be coming up north again to do some more case studies because you are selling a lot of machines at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, it'd be good to see you again up there.
Great. The one thing with NCMT, it's very much about the celebration of machine tools as well. It's not just about the technology. These guys absolutely show what you can do with a machine from a turnkey point of view, to a certain extent, just a basic machine as well. But I'm going to be handing over to Rowan, who's actually going to the next level. We're talking lathes, now you're talking 5-axis.
Yep, let's talk 5-axis mills. Now, Richard Turner here certainly knows his stuff, but when he tells me this is an entry-level machine, I've got to say I don't believe him. Now, Richard, tell me why it's entry-level, but also tell me about all the features that makes it not entry-level.
Yeah, well, this is Okuma's Genos range, so we call it the Affordable Excellence. So this range comes in to try and make this more affordable to the customers. There's a lot of technology you get though, so it comes in as a mid-range sort of spec, as standard. So we have a 15,000 RPM spindle that's 22 kilowatts. Really solid construction. It's very accurate. It's rigid. Things like the intelligent technologies, such as the thermo-friendly concept, all those things really benefit this machine.
I'm amazed at how much development work has gone into this machine, and yet you're still saying it's affordable, because stuff like designing the casting such that it has a linear thermal response to temperature, having thermal compass standard, all of these things to me scream premium, and yet it's an entry-level machine, meaning if you're just getting into 5-axis, you're maybe an SME, you're a little subcontractor, you've just got loads of EMCs. If you need a 5-axis, this is going to be the one that will last you for almost a lifetime, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. This is the technology on it is far surpasses a lot of competitors out there, but still at an affordable price. A lot of people see the Okumas as not being in their price range, but actually it is. It's a very highly accurate machine, rigid. As I was talking about the thermo-friendly concept, that one really is one you hang on because the technology is quite advanced. The way they design the machine, they design it so it expands and contracts in a linear motion, and then they can compensate for that live on the machine constantly by 0.1 of a micron, minutely moving those axes to making sure you're getting the most highly accurate part you can achieve.
Okay, let's talk about the applications now. Now have a quick look in the machine if you can. Obviously, there's lots of coolant spitting around, but to me, entry-level 5-axis means general purpose. It means maybe you got 3-axis parts, but you're presenting more of them to the spindle using some kind of 3-sided, 4-sided vise. But here, you're doing spiral bevel gears. Now, to me, that screams that's a demanding process. How can you do it on this kind of machine?
That's what I was saying earlier about the accuracy. Now, yes, you can throw pretty much most things at this, as long as it fits within the envelope of the machine. Spiral bevel gears that we're showing here today, the reason we're doing that is because we can achieve highly accurate components. Spiral bevel gears have always been renowned for requiring bespoke machinery. So you need a spiral bevel cut machine. You then need the measuring equipment to measure that as well. You're talking, close to £2 million worth of kit.
It's a massive investment.
Yeah, huge investment that would be.
But instead, you can pick up what is a general-purpose 5-axis milling machine. So if today you get a spiral bevel gear, tomorrow you just put a few 3-axis parts on a 3-sided vise. You could be running all weekend, maybe.
Exactly, and as I was saying, that bespoke bit of equipment that I was talking about, that would then not be able to do the general-purpose machining. So you can do that on this sort of platform. But the levels of accuracy we're achieving close to master gears. Now, master gears are something that you would then calibrate a CMM to then measure other gears. So that's the sort of level of accuracy we're achieving.
Which to me is fantastic. To me, that sounds like kind of like a test bar artifact, like a ball bar. The equivalent of that in gear systems, you can actually machine on this, which is, again, I don't believe you. It's not entry level. This you've got to stop telling me lies, Richard.
I know, it's phenomenal, isn't it? Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, and we've just been talking to a customer as well, so we're going to have a quick talk with chat with Mark Manning from Richmond Engineering. So you're the MD, and an all-round nice guy apparently. And you bought this machine and been using it exactly for. We're not quite about spiral bevel gears you're going to be looking at soon. Can you explain why you picked up the machine, what you're using it for?
There's two reasons why we chose the machine. One, it's supposedly entry level, but we had the opportunity, and we've since machined quite a few complex aluminium castings for a marine engine customer. We also work with these guys and with a software provider called Dontine, where we can produce spiral and spur straight cut gears. Okay, so that's what my business is, predominantly transmissions, but we want to get into machining the castings for the transmission assembly as well.
Again, a highly demanding specific job. Now, I'm going to go over to Mark and Lindsay. We're going to wrap this up, and I'm constantly amazed by how technology. Hardware changes. Now, I was talking about Hexagon yesterday about software design engineering, how that process is changing so much. And I kind of said, well, actually, machine tools, rotor tables, I didn't think they changed that much. But talking to Richard Turner, who's got all of that knowledge, it really goes to show how actually machine tools are changing all the time as well. So I guess 6 months ago, I went to a machine gear manufacturer. They were buying old specific gear cut machines. Now you can do it on an Okuma. Brilliant. Now, over to Lindsay. I'm going to throw it over to you. Hello, how are you doing? So Over to Lindsay.
You know what? He's certainly challenging our cameramen or walking through all of the people on the stand. Okay, so thank you so much for watching the show. John, tomorrow, exciting, because the show doesn't finish there. Tomorrow we are back live on the NCMT stand. We were talking about how large the stand is. However, tomorrow we're talking Makino, aren't we?
Yeah, we've got the other half of our stand tomorrow. So Makino, we've got EDM, we've got 5-axis machines, and we've got additional automation with the sail rope. And we also have our blue photon stand as well. Okay, and also, you know, you said to me, John, that it's all about kind of reconnecting with the engineers, your customers, prospective customers. We've had a couple of years away from this, and that's really, really important. Yeah, that's why we wanted. Why we wanted to be back this year, so that we could see everyone, meet all of our customers, both existing and new customers, and just welcome everyone onto our stand. It's kind of priceless, isn't it, when you're actually meeting and greeting people, and not kind of. I know, of course, we're talking live if people can't be here, but for people coming, they're going to ask questions. And you've got engineers on the stand to be speaking to everyone. Yeah, we've got our engineers on the stand. Our full sales team are here all week, and we've also got quite a few of our apprentices who have come through, and they're manning the machines for us as well. So we've got a lot of strength and depth within NCMT. You absolutely do. This is John, Managing Director. Are you going to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in the morning, John? I'm hoping so. I'll do my best. Well, I'll see you back here at 9:30 tomorrow. Thanks a lot for coming. See you tomorrow. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in about an hour's time for another live. Thank you so much for watching. Again, don't forget to like, and please get those questions in, because there's still time. Message those questions in the comments box below, and we will get back to you. And if not, we'll ask the team members too. We'll see you soon.